it's not necessarily how long getting the work done at each step in the process takes.
Yeah.
It's more the idle time between the processes that can really kill the dealership and take something that you could have sold in 30 days and push it out to 45.
Yeah, that kills profit, right? Like, I mean, look, time kills profit. Hey, what's going on, Podcast Nation? It's Jason Harris here, and thank you for joining me on another episode of the Drive Podcast here in sunny Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm with the one, the only, the oh so famous, he paid me to say it. No, I'm just kidding. I got Randy from Repair on Demand. Randy, what's up, man?
Hey, man, it's great to see you. Thanks for the ride.
Anytime. Now, you guys have to understand, this isn't Randy's first time. All right, we've done a couple rides before, so this is going to be a really, really fun podcast. But hey, Randy, for everybody out there watching and listening who don't kind of know who you are and kind of how, I love kicking off these podcasts with a little origin story. A, because you got a cool one, and B, I'm always just fundamentally fascinated to just know how people got in the industry. So let's kick off our podcast there. How in the world did you get started in this crazy little world we call the automotive industry?
Yeah, so I'm Randy Kobat. I'm the president of Repair on Demand. And I got started in the automotive industry by doing a consulting project for the consulting firm that I worked for a little company called ADP Dealer Services.
I think I've heard of those.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And after the project was over, the president of that division at the time wanted to hire somebody to lead the strategy team for that division. So they hired me to do that. And I spent 10 years at what is now CDK in a variety of roles.
Yeah.
I led strategy, I led a sales team, ran a P&L, and I actually spent my last 2 years there on the payroll side of ADP. And I missed automotive significantly.
Yeah.
So I left ADP and I did a couple entrepreneurial type opportunities, which led me actually out here to Las Vegas for a few years, where I worked with Les Silver and the Service Repair Solutions team.
This is a great guy, isn't he?
Yeah. And then after we sold that, which ended up to be to Solera, I was able to join Cox Automotive, and I led vAuto, HomeNet, DealerTrack DMS, Kelly Blue Book ICO, and I was with Cox for 9 years. And
just a couple of big names, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
The only one I haven't worked for is Reynolds, but I still have a few years left.
Well, man, look, I'm glad that you reached out and you're like, hey, let's go for a drive. Let's talk everything like acquisition, inspection, processes, look. I love talking about the fixed op side of the business.
Yeah.
We both, it just seems to hold like a special part of our heart, right?
Yep.
I think for one of the part of our business that works probably, I'm going to say it, and some of you guys might get mad at me, the hardest, all right, and is really one of the core parts of our business that ensures that we have loyal customers, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And in the support there, I think is great. And, I'm just glad every time I get to talk about any of this stuff. So let's kick this off, because I know we got a couple cool topics, right? We want to talk about vehicle acquisition and inspections and just kind of like how inconsistent the process kind of is out there. And you guys do some cool stuff around this area.
Yeah, so that's a real area that we've focused on since I've joined 2 years ago, is helping dealers with what is the black hole of the mechanical condition of the car.
I love the fact you said black hole, because it's
when they're assessing the value and deciding what they want to pay for that car that's coming in on trade.
Sure.
And they can walk around the car and they can see the dings and the bumps and the crack in the windshield. But for the longest time, the big black hole has been the mechanical condition of the car.
Yep.
And so our product, Blue Driver Max, is the commercial grade product that we sell directly to dealers that allows them to plug that device into the OBD2 port in the car and gather all the information of what lights might have been on the dash in the past and turned off, or what modules might currently have a problem. And then, given the 1 million devices that we've sold over the history of the company and all the data we've been able to capture over time, we're able to now also tell you, how much that's going to cost to repair.
That's huge. I mean, that's a data set that, like, even as like a used car manager, man, you're just like, you're talking to me, right? Like, it's just like I thought I was pretty good at my job, right? Like, I mean, and look, I think most of you guys out there watching and listening, you're pretty good at your job too, right?
Yep,
But
yep.
you know, I ain't no Jedi. I don't have the Force. I can't put my hand in a car and just know this information.
Yep.
You guys make it very easy, next level. Let me really kind of understand it. And look, the cool thing is this can go both ways.
Yep.
Right? Like, this may give me that extra data to say, like, yeah, you know what, I am okay putting that extra G note in this thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, you know, or like, guys, a couple red flags, right?
Yeah. And one of the things that we see all the time is, because we sell a consumer grade product on Amazon,
Mm-hmm.
Consumers have more information about their car than the dealer does. And
Point.
because the consumer might have bought one of our competitor's product or our product on Amazon and actually turned the dashboard light off before they drove it to the dealership. And up until this point where the dealers
that's
are
never
now
happened.
using it the same way, they might not have known that. And you know, you make money on a used car when you buy it, not when you sell it. So knowing that on average you can lose $4,000 a month on all your trades if you get the mechanical side of the inspection wrong,
Yeah.
it's a really, really significant ROI.
Well, and I think this is super timely as well, right? I mean, I'm looking at like the average mileage of a trade-in now has gone exponentially up,
Mm-hmm.
you know, which makes sense because I understand a lot of these cars are kind of coming off from that COVID period where everyone kind of held on to something like that, right? And you know, and those vehicles coming off, even if they're newer vehicles, it's still increasingly difficult to put a number on. Like,
Yep.
I had a buddy the other day who got stuck in something because he bought like an LT trim, but it was an LT trim during COVID, which had blank, blank, blank missing.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it was still reporting as an L, you know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
we need all the help we can right now.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, with the average car now, I think it's over 12 years old in the car park in the U.S. There's going to be more problems than ever. And I think that inspection process is the first point where the dealership has an opportunity to bring efficiency and effectiveness into the whole reconditioning process.
Yes.
You know, when you think about supply chain management as a practice, pushing information or gathering information further upstream is the first opportunity to improve efficiency and effectiveness. So if that used car manager or that buyer is actually gathering mechanical information, that can flow automatically into the fixed ops department so that they're ready to get that car frontline ready faster from the very beginning.
Well, look, I also just think, you know, for the dealer principals GMs out there, like, this gives your used car manager another level of confidence,
Mm-hmm.
right? I mean, because look, I was a used car manager, like, there was, I'm going to admit, I had some questionable purchases, right? You know,
We all have.
like, you know, and it's like, look, but I think back, I'm like, why were they questionable, right? It was because the data that I had, you know, I probably had some market data. I had maybe had some data coming from, you know, previous sales or just kind of understandings of it. But like, you're talking about a whole nother set of data that honestly, I don't know, these used cars managers never have had, right? And it's usually one of those, you know, like, we buy it, it goes to the shed, like, oh, shit.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it
Man,
can turn
dude.
a money winner to a money loser pretty quickly.
Pretty darn quick, especially when you're buying one of those Audis. Never mind, I won't go into that story. Damn timing chains.
Yeah,
Damn
exactly.
Who knew you had to take the whole car apart? All right. Anyways, I digress. I won't go there. I have some trauma, but it's
Yeah. And you know, we recently launched the new report that comes out of our application that you can print and share with the consumer on, you know, what's going on with their car mechanically as well as how much that repair might cost. So, like, you know, I've learned in my history here in automotive, it's documentation instead of negotiation.
Agreed.
So you can have a really informed conversation with the consumer on why the value of their trade isn't what they think it is.
Well, and look, we all know this, and you guys know this. If you're watching this, you know this too. Like, a more educated customer is a better customer, no matter how you dice it whatsoever.
Yep.
That's just the truth of it all, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I love the fact that this is something that brings the consumer into it as well. I find too often when I'm working with a lot of vendors, or talking to a lot of vendors, I kind of have a tendency of like building technology kind of serves the dealer maybe, but I do know, like, when we put the customer first, it ultimately helps us in the long runs anyways.
Absolutely.
Right? And to be able to provide that kind of level of information, to your point, documentation, right? Look, you all know, if you're watching and listening, you guys all know that the experience, the journey, all right, of the purchase is made and broken by little things.
Along the way.
Right? And how often does it break at that point, during the acquisition, during that inspection, part of it? And, it becomes kind of this like mountain and then valley. There's a high and then there's a low. But by being able to provide this extra set of data and this extra set of transparency, I don't want to call it data. I'm going to call it extra level of transparency.
It absolutely is. Yep. No.
That can remove a bit of that mountain and valley and keep that process more linear, don't you think?
Yep. Yeah, for sure. Yep.
Well, now let's get into, okay, I own it. Okay.
Now what do I do with it?
Yeah, right? Let's get about retail readiness. So here's the thing. I've had the opportunity, because I just got off a whole series of seminars where I visited like 6 major, major cities doing these seminars.
Yep.
I physically got to walk into about 320 dealerships, shake some service managers' hands,
awesome.
And just, really kind of talk shop.
Yep.
Okay, Randy, I'm going to tell you right now, if there was the readiness, the retail, there is not a single dealer I know that's doing it the same way.
Yeah, I know. It's really crazy. Yeah. Yep.
So let's talk about how like some of those like delays and just poor like visibility can just really kind of screw up kind of the quality control and the profitability at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And because you guys got some cool ways to help solve this too.
Yeah. So I think used cars are a significant profit source for the dealership, and where they get hung up in many cases is not really knowing what's going on to get that car frontline ready quickly, but also quickly understanding if it's stuck somewhere in the process. And what makes it increasingly more complicated is some of that work is done internally at a franchise dealership.
Yep.
Some of that work is done externally by third-party vendors, and really understanding where the car is in the process and understanding and being flagged when it's stuck.
Yep.
Is some of the stuff that we've really focused on. When you think about it, again, from a supply chain management perspective, it's not necessarily how long getting the work done at each step in the process takes.
Yeah.
It's more the idle time between the processes that can really kill the dealership and take something that you could have sold in 30 days and push it out to 45.
Yeah, that kills profit, right? Like, I mean, look, time kills profit.
Yeah.
Didn't always used to be that way.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, when I started in the business, I don't know if that was necessarily true. I mean, but I guess time can increase profit because it turns and so on and so forth. But like, it just seems to be like, I gotta be honest with you, man, that the market is so volatile right now.
Yeah.
Like, I get, like, you guys got it tough. Like, I get total sympathy, for good, strong, well operated used car operations. Because like you go into something super confident and then bam, that market takes a left or something like that. And something you just got 40, not even maybe 30, less than 30 days ago.
Yeah.
Is not what you're sitting on anymore.
Right. Yep.
And it's just,
and a lot of times where it breaks down and where we've had a lot of success with our reconditioning software called Repair 360 is creating greater alignment between the service department and the used car department so that there's easier communication, more transparency, and less misalignment on the handoffs.
So they don't talk in Morse code anymore?
Yeah, exactly.
Or like flags?
Yep.
Or maybe certain sign languages of a middle finger or so.
Yeah, the WhatsApp message can get lost.
The WhatsApp message. Oh man, I love the WhatsApp. Hey, that's pretty common though. I will say the WhatsApp message is pretty common.
It is.
No, look, I think anything that can help build and strengthen the relationship between those two silos, because I hate to say it, no, I will say it. I want to say good operators out there are intentionally or unintentionally good at breaking down those silos.
Absolutely.
But it's a strategy of people, process, and technology. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. To break down those silos and to create a stronger connection between them. I know guys, you think I'm blowing this out of proportion and stuff like that. You're like, well, I got a WhatsApp channel. Like, doesn't that, but
I've got a spreadsheet and a whiteboard. Yeah.
Look, I'm going to say you got good people. So we're just going to start there at the baseline, right?
Yeah.
But there's a process.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to be honest with you, Randy, out of a lot of people, there was a total lack of a process. And I'm sure you have seen great operators and not so great. I mean, where do you see where people are focusing time on the process that's helping this and how the technology supports that?
Well, I think the first thing is to measure what you have today.
Yes.
And one of the things that we've really focused on with Repair 360 is, we talk to hundreds of dealers every week that use our software. And so we understand how to improve the process over time, but we don't necessarily dictate what that process should be for your dealership. Just like you said, you've been into 300 dealerships and there's probably 300 different approaches.
Yeah.
So our solution is extremely flexible to first and foremost, just digitize the process you have today.
I dig that. It's a good sign of a good technology.
And so when you do that, it's really evident right away where you find really good things that are going on that you want to keep doing, but then you find those sore points that you have an opportunity to impact over time quickly.
Yeah. Speaking of sore points, what do you think, and I know I'm kind of putting you on the spot here, so, but like, what do you think are a couple of the biggest consistent sore points that you see out there in that process?
Yeah, so I think one of the sore points that really adds time to the reconditioning and getting a car frontline ready is the traditional approach that dealers have with their third-party vendors, where the third-party vendor that might be doing paintless dent repair only shows up on a Wednesday. So if he's there, if that person's there Wednesday morning and you take a trade-in on Wednesday afternoon, typically the service department, in the internal service department is pretty consistent in 2 to 3 days in getting that car out of the service department. Sometimes where the real gaps and the delays happen is with the third-party vendors. So really being able to use the same technology for the third-party vendor as well as the dealership really streamlines that process and potentially can open you up to additional options from a third-party vendor perspective.
Yeah.
So not only do we sell software to dealerships, we also sell software to the third-party vendor companies that
is cool.
support the dealerships. So we have 16,000 technicians that are using our software today. And if the job shows up in the system that they use every day to run their business on a daily basis, there's more opportunity for them to maybe come back Thursday if the work is there for them to do.
Well, you're creating an ecosystem.
Absolutely.
Right? Like you're creating an ecosystem that kind of connects everything.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as I'm listening to this, my dealer principal hat's like kind of like buzzing a little bit, right? Because, love the efficiency, love the intentionality of executing a consistent process, right? That speaks to my heart.
Yes. Yeah.
But then there's a visibility aspect that I think really gets me excited because, it's just like, as an owner, that's, do you know how many people I had to talk to?
Yeah.
To get eyes, even as just GM, or hell, even as a salesperson.
Yeah.
Do you know how many just to get visibility on where something is so that I know when I can actually make money on that? Can we talk a little bit to that aspect of it as well?
Yeah, so one of the things that we see as a big benefit to the solution in our reconditioning software is the access that the sales team has. Because if you get a call on a car, so chances are, everybody today, when they acquire a car at auction or before the car's frontline ready, they're using those initial pictures that they might have taken at trade or even the auction photos, and they're getting them up online with maybe a banner in their merchandising app that says on the way or coming soon.
Yeah.
And so our solution actually allows wherever that car is online that you can hover over that VIN, and our solution will show the salesperson when that car is going to be done or where it is in the reconditioning process. So you can tell that consumer with confidence, it's on the way and it'll be ready Thursday if they want to come in for, I dropped mine.
That's all right.
If they want to come in for a test drive.
Dude, that's huge. That's huge. Because I can't tell you how many times as a salesperson, I'm not going to say I fibbed, Randy, but I fibbed.
Yes, exactly.
Let's just call it what it is, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, it's, yeah, it's gonna be a few more days. It's in there. Like, I had no freaking clue, you know. And like,
right.
and it's not like I try to go to my used car manager and ask, like, he didn't even have a freaking clue, So it's like, okay, having that look. There's so much of that just now helps the sales team from a confidence perspective in their communication efforts out to the customers. It's definitely going to eliminate, because what is the worst thing that can happen? Come on, don't tell me this hasn't happened to you, some of you guys out there. Yep. Customer shows up, salesperson's all jacked, finds out, they get there, customer's expecting what? That car to be out front and ready to go.
Detailed and ready. Yeah.
It's sitting on a hoist with no tires on it.
Right. Yeah, or the windshield.
Let me walk you out here and show you. It's about 8 feet in the air, but let me show you this car.
Yes, right. Yeah, right. As soon as we put the tires back on, you can take it for a ride.
Oh man, I can't tell you how many times. I want to tell you that never happened, but I'm going to tell you right now, Randy, it happened more often than I'd like to admit.
Yep.
And I get it. I had a great used car manager who did a great job at acquiring some just cream puffs of some beauties, right?
Yeah, right. Yep.
And, of course my sales team was excited, right? Who's not excited?
They are. The fresh
to
inventory is what everybody gets most excited about.
Exactly. Who's not excited about showing that thing off? But then just talk about just demolishing. And then the customer's excited, right? Like, oh, hon, I just found an 8-year-old, Honda Civic with 30,000 miles on it. Are you kidding me? What doesn't exist? So salesperson excited, the customer's excited, and then it explodes.
Yep, right, exactly. Yep. And when that all happens at the right time, right, it makes for a good sale and a happy customer,
right?
With low regret, right?
So what do? You give a discount to try to make it all go away when you shouldn't have to in the first place.
Yep.
Anyways, look, I love this, guys. If you're out there watching, listening, like this is it. It's about process. It's about people. It's about a technology partner that is going to surround that. And you've said it earlier, and I appreciate the fact that you said it. Surround kind of the people in the process that you currently have, right? Like, what's the worst thing a technology company can do is bring you a whole new set of processes that you're not doing, right? Like,
built by people that haven't necessarily worked in the dealership. Yeah.
What do you mean that happens?
Yeah, sometimes.
I've been walking in the exhibitor hall.
Yep.
I won't name names. Anyways.
I won't either.
But there's a few. Yeah. Okay, since we are on kind of this process trip, let's kind of keep that going. Let's talk about the repair order process and just kind of how outdated and inefficient it is. Because, again, I've been in a lot of dealerships. I've seen some good ones. I will actually admit, I have seen that was good.
Yeah.
Right? But I'm going to just say, in general, there's some huge opportunities. I know you got some cool thoughts on this. Let's jam about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think while the repair order in general, I think is pretty good. I think it's the line items where it begins to sometimes fall apart. Because if that repair process requires, to check the filter, are you making sure that you're adding 1/10 of a labor hour for that and getting all that you can when you increase the value of that repair order? So that's something that, I've always been focused on in the past as we've looked at, how to optimize the value of a service pricing guide, for example, or, and just the work that we were doing in related repairs. So we've seen in the history of this car that typically a car like yours at this mileage, something like this is going to go wrong next. And we can make those recommendations so that they don't have to come back to the dealership and we can fix it now.
There we go. See, okay, I'm going to bring up my Audi example because, yes, I got a little pre-trauma on some Audis. All right, we all know if you've ever bought, let's call it a A6 or A8 between 2005 and 2015, you all know at 90,000 miles, that stupid timing chain that's in the back of the freaking engine, not the front. Don't ask me why.
Yep.
All right, right up against the firewall. It's got to be replaced.
Yep.
All right. The thing is, the data's there, right? Like we historically know. But I mean, talk about just making that a horrible experience when we're not, with what you guys are able to do, you guys are able to like at least start proactively having the conversation. Let's say like, hey, Mr. Harris, looking at your mileage, we know this car.
Yep.
This is going to come. You know, it may not. We don't need to do it now.
Yeah.
But let's just have a conversation about what that repair is going to look like.
Chances are you're going to be back in the next several months because we've seen it historically happen. And you know, the cars are so complicated these days, not only with, you know, technology, but just where they put things, right? So in order to repair something in the, you know, by the engine, sometimes you have to take the whole dashboard out just to get there, right? And just understanding all those nuances so that you can make sure you're putting in the right labor times and making sure that you're getting paid for all the work that you're actually doing.
Oh man, I had an Armada. The rear AC went out. That doesn't sound horrible, right? Whatever, a little compressor. Yeah, no. Those lines are like literally in the frame.
Yeah, exactly.
So the entire vehicle body had to come off the frame just to repair and patch these lines.
I know. It's crazy.
Like,
yep. But without that, you know, information from the OEM, and, you know, and building that into the tool that you're using every day in your service department, you're not going to be able to get paid for the work that you're actually doing.
No, and I think, look, we all know good operators kind of have this built into them already. Like Randy, you know, I know, like, give me 2 ROs. Like, don't even tell me where they're from.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to tell you which one of these departments are making more money.
Absolutely.
Like,
right, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, I don't know. There's a cleanliness. There's a level of detail. There's just something there that's obviously been embedded into a process that has that. But I mean, to your point, man, there's never really been a piece of technology to support that. Either you found a talented individual and you were able to hire and coach and train a talented group of writers, right, that consistently executed this. But I mean, I don't know, as far as I know, I've never been a piece of technology that actually kind of help. You know, you're talking about taking, like, look, we all know this. Like, I had writers. I had a couple, like, A writers. You know what I mean? These guys, one gal, one guy, just amazing. Like, I knew I never even questioned them. I never even had to look at them.
Yeah, because you knew it was good quality work.
Yeah, I had some of my A players, right? And then I'm not going to lie, like most of you out there watching and listening, I had a couple B and C players, you know? Like, this seems like a solution that kind of brings my B and C players.
It does. Yeah.
Have you seen this play out?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And that's where the, you know, it's the same when you're looking at your sales team as well, right?
Yeah.
You're going to have your A sales people.
Of course.
And sometimes, you know, the general manager, they like to hang out with the A's because there's a lot of wins, right?
Of course.
But if you can get your B's and C's to just be, you know, you get your C's to be B's,
yeah,
you're going to have a significant impact on the success of your department. And it's the same with your service writers.
Yes.
If you just get everybody at average and keeping your A's as A's, now, so focus in on those that are not average, and getting them to average has a significant impact on profitability per RO.
Well, and I'm 100% with you on the profitability, but I want to take it one step farther for everybody watching and listening. It is a huge impact on the loyalty.
Oh, totally. The
All
consumer
right.
experience,
like,
everything.
right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
You know, and I've been on this trip recently about really kind of diving more into like loyalty and stuff like that.
Yep.
And I think as an industry, we use the wrong terminology. I don't like the word retention. Like, I'm going to tell you right now, and I hate to admit this, but I'll just say this online, all right? There's a Nissan dealership that's not too far from me.
Mm-hmm.
They've retained me as a customer. But I'm going to tell you right now, Randy, the minute that effing warranty is done, there ain't a chance in hell.
I know.
I'm like, they've had many opportunities to make me a loyal customer. All right, they've retained me because they're 3.5 miles away from me.
Yep.
All right, and the next dealer is 16.5 miles
Sure.
away from me, right? But that's not just, but I hate that because they think as a dealership, because I'm consistently going there, that they've won my business.
Yep.
It is far from the truth of it, right?
Yeah. And that's the significant opportunity that has existed in our industry for a long time.
Yes.
And we've seen it decline over the last 5 years or so. To your point, as soon as that car's out of warranty, you know, they're at Jiffy Lube or they're, you know, at a independent repair shop.
Joe's Auto Shop, whatever it is, right?
And there's a significant amount of revenue to be had in every geography around the dealership. But yeah, I love your thought about customer loyalty.
Right.
Yeah.
So here's a stat I currently heard recently, and I honestly thought it was total BS. Look more into it. Had a few more conversations about some other people. 40 to 60%, and I guess that was actually a conservative number
Yep.
of customers leaving our business once the warranty expires.
I know. Yeah, and it's
That's, I mean, I want to vomit. That makes me
I
feel,
know.
I want to vomit in my mouth when I hear that. That's insane.
No. There's a lot of value that the dealerships provide, and unfortunately, I don't think it's recognized.
Well, and it's look, and we guys all know because you're operator. I know you're good at operators because you watch this show.
Right.
That's the reason why you're good at operators. Okay. And you can tell. I know we're getting towards the tail of our conversation, but everything that me and Randy have been talking about, again, it goes back to kind of what we opened it up. Is these little things, right? And these little things make big differences. The little things of being more proactive in what we're offering in service. The little things of actually, knowing a visibility where the vehicle is, and when the customer comes in, it's not sitting 8 feet in the air on a hoist with no tires on it.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Like these are little things that have huge impacts into the overall customer experience, and ultimately the most important thing of all, loyalty. But you need a partner, man. You need a partner like you, and I appreciate what you guys do.
Yeah.
And
I think what's interesting is your point about the service writer. That's a real comfortable place for a typical general manager to start.
for sure.
Because the majority of general managers today out in the dealership world came from sales.
They can understand that.
And they understand
100%.
the consumer experience when they drive into the service lane and they're greeted the right way by a service writer. There's a very value-oriented conversation that the service writer can repeat on a regular basis. And that's really up the alley of a typical GM, and they can instill that process really.
Yes, they can still, and that's the cool thing is that we're not talking about something that's going to take like 6 months to see results on, all right?
Yeah,
We're talking about a piece of technology that ensures the consistency execution of a process that is very customer centric and ultimately just creates a better experience for the customer.
Yeah.
Look, Randy, I know we're getting towards the tail end of our time, man. I feel like I could jam with you all day. Like, you know me, I love talking about
We always have a great time in
We
these things.
do. I still think there's a lot more conversation to be had here, though.
Yeah.
So for everybody out there that's watching and listening right now, and maybe like to continue some part of this conversation, or even just kind of pick your brain or find out more about the offerings you guys have, what's the best way to connect?
Yeah, so there's a couple of ways. One is go to our website, repairondemand.com.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm always happy to talk to dealerships and service departments and general managers. It's randy.kobat@repairondemand.com. And would love to hear from all of you.
Hey, for everybody out there watching and listening, we appreciate you. You guys are rock stars.
Absolutely.
And one of the biggest compliment you could ever give us as content creators is to share the show, okay? You got a manager, an owner, a colleague, or a friend that just needs to see like some portion of today's conversation. It means so much to us, and a huge compliment when you share the show. Thank you guys so much for your time, and we appreciate it. You guys have an amazing day.